Lately, I've been reflecting a lot on comparison, how I let it infiltrate my life and what power I have to control those urges to compare myself to other people and reroute them into something more productive and nice to my brain. Maybe. Could be big. It is so loud in New York. My New Year's resolution is to just talk when the planes go by. And accept when the sirens are going. And just, accept that I will never achieve perfect sound in anything that I post. Because maybe I'll post even more. If I cut out all the time that I'm not speaking because I'm waiting for sirens and planes, then oh my God, who knows what I could accomplish this year? I think where I struggle with comparison the most is probably comparing my creative output to other people's, which I feel like is a pretty repeated sentiment among creative people. None of us feel like we're creating enough, and we feel like we're looking around at everyone else, and it seems like they're creating so much and they have such an ease with doing it. But whether or not that's true is kind of, the planes are trying to silence me today. Whether or not that's actually true is, who knows? I think especially when I'm feeling really burnt out and exhausted, I compare myself so much more. It's like I have a hard time giving myself grace or allowing myself permission to rest. And I wish I'd gotten better at that over the years. I still don't feel like I'm very good at it. I compare my habits and how strictly I stick to them to everyone else and what habits I see them performing on social media, because isn't that kind of what we're all doing anyways? Not that people aren't actually living lives where they're strict to their habits. It's the performance of it that makes people feel worse, because it seems like, oh, this is what you do every day and you never don't do that? That's crazy. And I've long compared how much I care to how much everyone else cares, feeling like I care too much. I'm so fucking sensitive. It's a strength, yada, yada, whatever. I still compare myself about it. And really, all of these comparisons do nothing except make me miserable. So this year, I'm trying to be more aware of it and try to push back on it a little bit more. Try to learn how to stop comparing myself to every other living human being that's ever touched foot on earth. I'm being dramatic. And with all that being said, I am so grateful that I have stopped comparing myself when it comes to my body and my appearance. At one point in my life, that was the thing that I struggled with the absolute most when it came to comparing myself. So it does feel like a relief that that's not really something my brain does anymore. Thank God. Because now I get to work with brands like Parade and try on these beautiful, gorgeous lingerie sets that make me feel hot and sexy, and I'm not gonna worry about whether or not I'm gonna be judged or whether or not I look the same way other people look in these items. I just get to enjoy me, enjoy my body, enjoy my clothes, and celebrate the way that I look. So with that being said, today's video is sponsored by Parade. I have not tried these on yet, but they just did a collaboration with Betsy Johnson, and I'm very excited about this set. Parade is where I buy absolutely all of my underwear. They have a bunch of different colors, styles, and fabrics to choose from. I mostly stick to their cotton collection or their lush rib collection, but I like a sexy silky mesh from time to time. I also really like some satin from time to time. The first set that I got in this new order of mine is this leopard Betsy Johnson collab, which I'm very excited about. It's a little corset top with hot pink straps, which is incredible. At the end of the day, I am and always will be an early 2000s lover at heart, so a little bit of leopard and hot pink does a lot for me emotionally. It's comfortable, it's sexy, it helps me show off my brand new tattoo. Come on, what's not to love about this? This next set, I decided to do a little mixing and matching with. Same colors, different fabrics. On the bottom, I'm wearing a pair of the new cotton cheeky underwear. This is my personal everyday favorite from Parade, so that's why I opted for this. And then on the top, I've got a triangle bralette in silky mesh. I wear a lot of boxers, but I've never tried the silky mesh boxers. Bringing something a little bit more stylish, a little bit more sexy to the comfort of a boxer, which I love. I am personally a very big fan of these like thick straps on underwear, specifically boxers, as I feel that most people with stomachs are, because when I'm wearing underwear, if it slides underneath my stomach, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. And if you guys are interested in trying out some Parade for yourself, you can go to yourparade.com/Maddie50 to get 50% off your purchase. It's a new year, and odds are your underwear drawer probably is in need of a refresh. You deserve a refresh of the underwear drawer. So be sure to head on over to Parade and take advantage of that 50% off code, which is again, Maddie50. For me, I think what feels most important to combating this urge to compare myself is to just do a better job at recognizing my strengths. Give yourself some fucking credit. What's great about me? What do I do well? I think that I have good style. I think I'm great at decorating. I think I'm good at gift giving. I think I have an interesting approach to my process of creating something. I think I'm really organized and I manage myself well, and a lot of the times I'm comparing what I'm able to achieve on my own to someone that has 2 to 3 people helping them, which is kind of fucking unfair to me. And also, I think I've done a pretty good job over the last year especially, and continuing into this year, of trying new things and not being afraid of failing or letting comparison stop me from putting myself out there, or even comparison to my past self, which is maybe even worse than comparing myself to other people. I got back into dance class this year. I used to dance all the time as a kid. It's where I spent all of my free time. And this year, after like 8 years of not dancing, I got back into it and I started going to a dance studio, and it has been such a joyful experience for me. And I never would have got to experience it if I let the fear of everyone else being better than me stop me from walking through the studio doors. I never would have experienced what a joy it is to reconnect with my body through dance as an adult if I was too caught up in comparing myself to my past self or comparing myself to other people in the dance class. Then I wouldn't be able to fully enjoy and reap the benefits of what dance class and, you know, reigniting my passion for dance as an adult has brought to me. So you know what? For every bit that I struggle with comparison, I also want to give myself credit in saying that I think it's a really great thing that I haven't let it stop me from trying new things and from putting myself out there and reigniting old passions. This year, one of my goals for myself is I really want to get more into photography. It's always been like sort of a peripheral interest of mine, but this year I really want to allow myself to just indulge in it and have fun and get creative with it. And it's not serving a purpose really other than just it's fun for me. I started doing a thing on Fridays this past year, Passion Project Fridays, which it really needs a better name. So if anybody has a better idea for a name for this, you let me know, because I'm not sold on it really. But every Friday I take time to do something creative that serves no purpose other than to bring me joy. It's not something that I'm doing for work or for money. It's not something that's meant to be shared with other people, though I can decide to share it later on if I want to. The point is just to do something creative that sort of fills my cup. And photography has been a blossoming interest of mine throughout all of that. I just bought this beautiful camera, the Fujifilm X100V. The B-roll shots at the coffee shop earlier in this video were shot on this. It is so beautiful. The colors are incredible. It looks just so creamy and so beautiful, and I'm so excited to bring this around with me more often and take more photos. What a shame it would be if I didn't let myself explore it because I was too busy comparing myself to people that have been doing it for years, or even people that maybe I graduated college with. We went through the same program, we did all the same things, but they've had more time to get comfortable with photography and maybe be more of a tech nerd than I have been. What a shame it would be if I didn't let myself explore this because I was too afraid of looking embarrassing or feeling like I should know more, I should be better, or I don't know, just comparing myself to other fucking people for no reason at all, really. I'm here to have fun, bitch. I've been trying to do my best to remind myself that I don't need to be great like them. I need to be great like me. It feels really important that I allow myself to be who I am, show up how I am, and learn how to celebrate myself for that person, while I can simultaneously celebrate other people for who they are and what they've accomplished. I don't need to compare who I am and what path I'm on to what path someone else is on. Because the worst part of it all is that we're all doing it to each other all the time. So it's like I'm busy comparing myself to this person, meanwhile they're over there comparing themselves to me. And for what? Another thing I always try to remind myself of is just that comparison is kind of useless when there's room for all of us to win. And I feel like the best way at rewiring your brain into remembering that is to just practice gratitude. So I've been in the habit of gratitude journaling for like 2 years now. I'm definitely not perfect about it. It is the 11th of January and I have gratitude journaled a total of 4 times. It'll be 5 counting today. But I do think that gratitude journaling and just taking stock of what's good in your life, what you enjoy, what is making you happy is a good way to just see how much joy and goodness is already in your life before you start comparing yourself and, you know, thinking about all the things you don't have or that other people have. And I started pairing my gratitude journal entries with my morning card pulls, answering the questions of what are 3 things I'm grateful for, what's on the top of my mind, and what are 3 good things that'll happen today. Pulling 3 cards, journaling on what the cards bring up for me, and then titling the entry of the day with the first card that I pull out. Today I am grateful for scallion cream cheese, my brand new camera, and not waking up with an alarm. It feels important to me to try to reroute comparison into inspiration. Instead of looking at people who have things that I hope to have or accomplishing and doing things that I hope to do someday, instead of taking that and turning that into a way to make myself feel bad for not being in the same place that they are at this given time, I'm trying to just let it inspire me. Look at this incredible, ambitious, talented person who is doing something amazing. I am also a talented, ambitious, incredible person who is capable of big things. If they can do it, this is just proof that I can do it too. Isn't it so amazing getting to watch sweeties win? Yes, it is. Stop punishing yourself for not doing everything and being every version of yourself right now. I'll be so real, 2023 was a little hard for me. There was a lot going on in my personal life, and I feel like as a result, I was a little scatterbrained this year. I was just talking to my friends about how I felt like there were pockets of time this year where I found it really hard to focus. I fell out of routine with a lot of my habits. Motivating myself to get up in the mornings has become a lot harder. And I think for a while I had a hard time even naming that, even saying it out loud, because it felt like, oh, you've been doing it all this time and now all of a sudden you just stop being able to do it. For years you've been keeping up with these habits, you've been waking up at this time, you've been, you know, existing to this degree, and then now you've had a bad year and suddenly you can't do any of the things that you've always done. Like, I had a hard time not getting mad at myself for that. I wasn't very understanding towards myself. I oftentimes we treat ourselves in ways we would never treat other people. If any of my friends said that they were feeling the way that I was feeling, I would tell them to be fucking gentle with themselves. But then when I'm feeling that way and I feel like there's just a lot going on and I'm having a hard time doing all of my normal tasks and sticking to the schedules I'm usually on, I'm having a hard time doing things that were once easy to me. I have a hard time being nice to myself in that circumstance. I feel like my gut instinct is just to be like, so you're faking it because you've always been able to do this and now suddenly you magically can't. Anyways, it's a ridiculous assessment of it that I would never project on anyone besides myself. Whatever. Obviously our emotional and mental health changes the way that we are able to show up for ourselves, our habits, our routines and rituals. And in fact, it's quite healthy to take a step back and give yourself grace instead of forcing yourself to show up to every routine and ritual and habit that you've done if you're just not feeling up to it. So I'm trying desperately to get better at being kind to myself and letting myself show up how I can on a day-to-day level, and just trying my best not to compare myself to the version of me that was not having a hard time. I think that's probably where I struggle with comparison the most. Comparing my present self to my past self. Comparing myself on bad days to myself on good days. Comparing the way that I feel on a day like today, where I'm feeling a lot of anxiety today, to a day where I'm not feeling as anxious as I am right now. Even as I'm filming this video, it's taken me way longer than it would normally take me to film a video because I'm a little distracted by how I feel today, to be honest. So every time the camera turns off, I'm taking these long breaks in between filming each section of the video because I just can't focus because I'm so distracted by my anxiety. And sometimes I do feel like my anxiety kind of freezes me for a little bit, and I'll get distracted because I need to like shut my brain off, so I just fixate on something else, or I don't know. Sometimes it's just one of those days. And sometimes it's hard not to get frustrated with myself and be like, why can't you just fucking focus? And I'm trying to learn how to be kinder to all the versions of myself, not only the versions of myself that are having good days and can show up and do everything I need to do and do it fantastically. There are other versions of me too, and those versions of me also deserve the same kind of love and care and respect as the version of me that gets it all done effortlessly. I'm not her every single day, I'm just not. But I do think that's probably what I end up doing the most. Comparing my present self to my past self, comparing who I am today to who I was 2 days ago or who I will be 2 days in the future. I feel like it's so much easier to get caught up in comparison spirals when it's me to me, because I know me. I know how great that I can be. I know what I'm capable of, and it is frustrating not being your best self every single day, but I almost don't even like that phrasing of it, to be honest, because I don't think that I'm worse because I can't be the most productive because I'm dealing with anxiety and mental health stuff. That doesn't make me worse. It's just a part of me. And I'm trying to be better at accepting those parts, I guess. So with all of that, what do I need to hear today? Yo, what the fuck? This is... Guys, what? You watched me shuffle that deck for the last 5 minutes. I swear to fuck. That's why I love it. That's why I fucking love it. The comparison card. We are all on our own journeys. We can try on someone else's skin as much as we want, but we end up having to be smaller in order to fit in it. This card shows up when you are exactly where you need to be, and yet you feel like you don't measure up to the image, expectation, or public perception of another. What you value in others, you possess. Consider what envy and comparison are trying to teach you about your own desires and why you won't let yourself have them. Heard. It's so funny. Life is so long and silly and fun. A sign that I am exactly where I need to be, exactly who I need to be at this present moment, and I need to be a little bit fucking nicer to myself. And honestly, in this current day and age, I think maybe the most important thing when it comes to trying to push against comparison is to consume thoughtfully. We are being constantly bombarded by images of people and lives to take in and compare to the one that we're living. I've been trying to create better boundaries with myself in terms of my phone and how much time I spend on it. It's been over a year now that I have been completely off Twitter and TikTok. Twitter, I deleted the whole account, never to go back on it ever again. TikTok is slightly different because sometimes I do post on TikTok, but I don't use TikTok for the purposes of scrolling or watching videos anymore, so it's stored away in a folder deep on my phone that I don't open. Which probably sounds like it takes a lot of willpower to not open up and scroll, but to be totally honest, I don't think about it at all anymore. And thank God, that was such an amazing discovery. I deleted TikTok last year because I just realized how badly it was making me feel about myself. And it just got to a point where I was like, you know what? I actually don't need to be on here. I don't know, I've talked about this on my podcast before, but I think I kind of have beef with short form content. I think it is so much easier to compare yourself the less you know. This year I'm definitely trying to dive into my relationship with Instagram specifically and get a little bit clear with myself on how I want to take in content on that app. I'm trying to start adopting this idea of no social media Sundays, which isn't that I can't consume any social media content, it's that I can't scroll. I feel like I'm on YouTube most of the day just watching videos and having them play in the background, and I feel like I get something positive out of that experience. I'm entertained, I leave feeling inspired, I get to support creators that I love. I feel good about my like YouTube and podcast consumption. On Instagram, I can sit there on my phone for hours scrolling and consuming content, and I can feel like I'm relaxing or having fun, but then immediately after I close my phone, if you asked me what I consumed, how it made me feel, anything, I probably can't fucking tell you. There's not a lot of it that I remember. There's not a lot of it that sticks with you. You're just scrolling through reels, scrolling through posts, and it's like a momentary piece of entertainment, but it's not impactful in any way. I might as well have just given the time away because it gave me nothing. And that's really the type of consumption that I'm trying to steer myself away from. I want to be consuming things that make me feel thoughtful, entertained, that bring me joy, that allow me to relax, but that also don't just steal time away from my life. And I just don't know, genuinely, if I can have a healthy relationship with short form content. There's something about short form content and like the ability to just scroll through this like endless loop of videos of such a small snapshot of people's lives. It's hard not to compare yourself. Not only does it feel more fulfilling and entertaining to consume more podcasts, YouTube videos, long form pieces of content, but also it's easier to see people as real people and not as like these characters in a 10-second video that live this idyllic lifestyle that you could never possibly achieve. So anyways, I think that it's gonna be healthy for me to create some distance and just focus on content that does make me feel good. I love social media. I love social media content. I think that in order to enjoy this thing, in order to allow myself to have fun with it, boundaries are a necessary part. So I'm trying to do the no social media Sundays, aka no scrolling Sundays. And then I'm also trying to not use my phone in bed anymore. Haven't started on that one yet, but it is a goal that I would like to tackle this year. But I think it's important not only to do regular check-ins with like who you're following and who you're consuming content from and how they make you feel, but also with like your relationship with platforms as a whole and how much time you're spending on them. Because honestly, I feel like most of the time spent on social media where I end up feeling worse about myself is time spent consuming the content that the algorithm suggests to me, not necessarily the content that I'm seeking out myself. That being said, I do think that I'm someone that's pretty good at not following people that make me feel shitty about myself. Literally, I see a video of someone getting chin liposuction and they get blocked immediately. And that's just what I need to do for me and my life, okay? I do not follow accounts or people that make me feel poorly about myself. I'm very good at taking care of my mental health in that way. It's all the people that I don't follow that Instagram will shove content to me all the time that I really need to be doing some reflections on. So anyways, this is just a reminder, I guess, to check in with yourself. Who are you following? What content makes you feel good? What content makes you feel shitty? Is there anyone you should be unfollowing? Is there any type of content that you should be blocking off your feed the second you see it? How can you make your consumption of content more thoughtful to then assist you in how you will feel later on when feelings of comparison may come up? I ordered some Brussels sprouts to be delivered because I have been craving them recently and I haven't had a chance to go grocery shopping this week. And they're arriving right now. Thank fucking God. Anyways, with all of that said, I also think it's worth reminding yourself that every single person does this. The people that you are comparing yourself to are also comparing themselves to someone else. Like I said, I think there are ways to harness the same driving force behind comparison and just turn it more into inspiration. Letting other people doing good things, other people winning, inspire you. Trusting that you are also capable of great things in the same way that they are. Letting your past self inspire you. I don't know. I just want to be nicer to myself. I want to feel better. I want to try to learn how to stop getting mad at myself for my anxiety, how to accept myself a little better. I think I spend quite a bit of time wishing away the things that I struggle with or convincing myself that I'm making it up inside my head and that I'm just wasting time for no reason. So I've got to stop doing that. Easier said than done, but you know, it's on my to-do list. But I think I'll get there. I think I've already been on the way.